feels to never ever have enough time to play at all. You know everybody wants to walk in someone else's shoes. Everyone's forgotten who they are. Such a crime to waste his time away. Such a low down, goddamn dirty shame. There's a man that I know who works his fingers to the bone. Never gets to spend any time at home at all. He's working, slaving all day, watching his life skedaddle away. Another life that's bound to fade away. Such a crime to waste his time away. Such a low down, goddamn dirty shame. So much time. Don't you stand in line. Gotta feel the sunshine. There's a man that I know who works his fingers to the bone. Never gets to spend any time at home at all. Such a crime to waste its time away. Such a low down, goddamn dirty shame. Dirty shame. Dirty shame, dirty shame, dirty shame, dirty shame.
Try and get started on completing the scene here, the Leyland Son scene. As you can see, I've done some work on the rusty rail boiler works casting. I'm probably 95% finished with it. There's still a few touch-ups that I can do and whatnot. So what I'm thinking is back here where you can see these other castings that I haven't painted yet. I'm planning on maybe scratch building a lean-to that will be at the same level as a freight car. That's the plan. That way you can clearly see into the building and just, a way of creating interest in the scene. I've got all of these castings to paint. And this one back over here, I'm going to have to put up on some kind of table legs. I haven't decided about this one yet, if I'm just going to leave it on the ground or put it up in the air as well. And I think I also need to build some kind of platform. And that's kind of, I feel like I know where I want to go with it, but how do I get there is the issue. I think I need to bring everything up level with the track and just kind of see where it goes from there. I've gone in and added cork to the top of the foam to bring it up to the level of the track, or at least to the level of the road bed. And I've actually went ahead and cut the foam completely out. That way I can remove this, and if need be, I can even cut it again somewhere where I can work just on the Leyland Son scene And I've done the same thing here, just to kind of make things a little bit more manageable. Of course, if I had it all to do over again, I wouldn't have used road bed. I don't even remember exactly why I felt like I absolutely had to. It's probably because everything looked flat at the time, and I was really concerned that there was going to be no variation, and it was just going to look like a flat, plywood Pacific scene, and I didn't have enough vision at that point. I've also scratch built a lean-to. Let me see if I can get to where there's a little better light. This is made out of Fat Bomb cardboard box. In other words, my wife buys these snacks called Fat Bombs. I think they're slim, fast, keto-friendly chocolate bar kind of things. And this is the cardboard box that they come in. And a little bit of strip wood and some paint. And that's basically burnt umber, a medium rust color, and I don't know if you can see it, but there's also some silver in there that I stippled on. Everything's done with a sponge. And I modeled a tar paper roof with construction paper. Very typical technique of doing that. I need to add one more piece up here so that all of my pieces are about the same width. But I'm going to add that in here. So the next step is coming up with the floor and getting it raised up to where it will be the correct height with the NMRA gauge. I've gotten started on the dock area and the floor for Lale & Son's lean-to, if you will. And what I've done is I've just made a paper template of what I want the area to look like. I did go in with my NMRA gauge and kind of check the tolerances against the track of where it's going to sit, and hopefully all my measurements are right. But all I've done is mark little lines across the paper. These are all on HO 24-inch centers, and went in and just glued the very tip of each end of the runners. And now I'm going to go back in and start gluing my planks across this way. I'm not sure if I've got enough material to do this area yet, so I'm going to hold off on it. I might have to make another purchase from Northeast Scale Lumber before I can finish that part of it. But I think I do have enough to do the main lean-to area. I've got the dock finished for the lean-to. All in all, it came out to be 60 scale feet in length, so that should be enough room to park two 30-foot flat cars there. If I'd had a little more material, I would have extended this out a little bit further, but it's going to work. And in fact, it might actually be better because I might run into clearance issues out at this end anyway, because my main line leaving the time saver is actually going out at an angle that way. But I just need to paint up some castings now and get the area complete. The platform is complete. I finished that last segment and realized that I had done nothing to actually put it up in the air. It was a little tedious, but I think it turned out pretty good. I'm fairly well pleased with it. Now, the question is, because it does look so nice, let me see if I can't get it here. Do I leave it like that and just, put a bunch of junk on it like they work off of it all the time? Or do I go ahead and put the lean-to on? The lean-to, of course, from this angle is going to completely block the view of the river. Over here, not quite so much. Now, I'm standing probably where a good 80% of the operation of the module takes place. So, if you're the operator and you're standing right here, doesn't obstruct too much. So I don't know. I'm going to think about it some more and chew on it and try and decide if that's what I want to do. I've got tons of castings to paint before I make my decision. So, and that might be the deciding factor after I get the castings painted and put in there. Do I really like it? Or do I like it better without the building? We'll just have to see. I've got the castings painted for the proposed work shed. Trying to get to where the light is halfway decent. A little shelf in there. Again, my layout lighting is not the best at the moment. And I think if I do keep the shed, I will put a light in there somewhere, somehow. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little shelf there that will either go, if I keep the work shed, that shelf will be right here above that. Or if I decide not to go with the shed, it will probably go somewhere here on this side of the Leyland Son structure. So that's what it looks like right now. I'm going to do a little more experimentation with placements and things like that, and before I make my decision to make anything permanent. I've played around without the shed now, kind of moved the castings here and there to kind of see what it might look like without the shed. I honestly am having a hard time making up my mind. I think what I need to do is go ahead and finish painting up all of the rest of the castings so that I can just mess with all of them and kind of see what I come up with. I believe I have all of the detail parts oriented where I want them. And I'm still going to need more. I've got a lot of work to do. Here, I need to build some kind of wooden platform, I believe, that the station will sit on, and get some more detail parts. Now this is a rusty rail casting that I painted up. I don't think it's gonna go there. It's just kind of there for now because I don't really like it on the backside of Leyland Son, just because it won't be seen. It may go somewhere else. I just haven't completely decided. And you can see a pretty big difference between my paint work and stuff that's purchased like from Woodland Scenics. See all the shiny stuff, all that's Woodland Scenic stuff. And I'm probably gonna go in and I'll either completely repaint them so that it all matches my style, or I will at the very least do some washes to mute that really bright silver stuff. And I'm just kind of going from right to left. I also will note that I'm not completely finished with all of my stuff. Like this barrel, it's complete. This barrel is not. I still have some weathering to do and a few other things. My daughter came this week from the state of Washington, and I don't get to see her very often, so I'm kind of at a point where I just need to stop doing everything and make sure that I'm spending time with her. So I'm gonna finish this video up and go ahead and get it posted, even though I'm not, where I would like to be. A workbench, and you can see this item here is not painted yet, nor do I have any of the silver painted on these little things. Got a rusty pile of stuff that I presume that Gary, Brad, and Ray are working on to refurbish and make usable again. Back here in the back. And I didn't know what color to paint those. I'm not particularly happy with the way that looks, but I'm gonna weather it up so it looks grungy and grimy. It's a long way from being finished. And of course, you've already seen this, I believe. I added a few more details to it. A couple of extra oxygen tanks. I added this little toolbox looking thing here with a couple of jugs on top of it. I've got a blue barrel here that, is kind of designed to bring your attention over here to the, I forget what they call those, a donkey, something like that, a steam donkey for pulling logs and trees. I figure it's a project they're working on, I don't know. And then back here in the back, you've got some finished products that they're shipping. Some steam engines, bull wheel, and I don't know what that other thing up there is. It's just something I picked up that looks steam railroady that I painted up black. The dock scene. Again, I got a bunch of barrels that are not complete yet. I got this thing here. That's a Woodland Scenics item. I really have no idea what that is. I think what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to hang it on the wall right in here above these barrels. I think that'll look kind of cool if I just glue it to the wall in there. Oh yeah, I decided that in order for the boys, the fellas, to get their projects on and off, especially these big heavy things on and off of the flat cars, they probably needed some kind of crane. So I got me a pillar crane, and it's just in here temporarily. I still have to rig it up. There's some lines and a tackle, not a tackle box, but a block, you know, with a hook on it that I still have to get painted up. But that's where I'm at right now. I think it's going to be pretty good, especially once we get all of the other buildings in the background painted and we get a background continuing on down the layout. But that's where I'm at right now, and I will come back when I've done more.